Morning glory, America. Bonjour, hi. It is Friday, June 26th in the year of the plague, 2020. I'm Hugh Hewitt inside of the Beltway. The number one story of the day, of course, is the virus exploding in places like Texas and Arizona, Florida, and, of course, its return to some of the states it's battered before, Washington State, New York State. It's everywhere, actually. The CDC chief says that the coronavirus cases may be 10 times higher than reported, a factor of 10. In the New York Times this morning, the reason is given in their lead story about the virus, headlined as Virus Surges, Younger People Account for, quote, Disturbing Number of Cases. That's actually good news. I hate to put pop the bubble of the New York Times. It's better when younger people have it than when older people have it. This increase reflects a simple reality, the New York Times reports. Since many states have reopened bars, restaurants, and offices, the coronavirus has been allowed to spread more widely across communities, including to more young people. People in their 20s and 30s are likely to go out socializing, experts say. 20s and 30-year-olds are more likely to go out socializing, experts say. Dwayne, how about that? Have you got an expert to come up with that one, that 20 and 30-year-olds are more likely to go out to clubs and bars? That's a real expert call right there. Dr. Robert Redfield, the director of the Centers for Disease Control, said younger people have helped fuel the increase in known coronavirus infections. And then in the past, many of those infections went undiagnosed. Yeah, okay, so look, that's just the way it's going to be. Texas has paused its reopening, slowing down, saying we're not going to urge you to get out as much and as fast as often. But the good news is we're at nowhere near hospital capacity. Arizona, which is the hardest hit with the oldest population, so has plenty of beds, plenty of ICU capacity. Hospitalization rates have dropped dramatically. If you get it, it's nasty. If you're younger, it's not deadly. If you haven't got an underlying condition, it's not going to kill you. If you're not obese, people with asthma, people with the real killers are coronary heart disease and diabetes. Those are the killers in combination with the virus. So be alert. The Federal Reserve has capped aid to stocks that are doing dividends, and they have banned buybacks by U.S. banks. They don't want their aid to go back into the pockets of bankers, and that's good. Here's the most interesting story of the day, and I think it tells us everything. In fact, I'm going to make this the business story of the day, brought to you by Birch Gold. Birch Gold is a great sponsor of this program. They help you diversify your portfolio into precious metals and silvers, especially your retirement accounts. All you have to do is send my name, Hugh, H-U-G-H, to 474747. Text Hugh to 474747 or go to hughgold.com. Whether you want to buy precious metals for your own physical possession, some of you like to do that and put it in the safety deposit box, or you want to take your $100,000 in retirement and put 10% or 15 or 20% into actual gold metal bars that are locked up in a depository that Birch Gold manages. They've got the highest rating from the Better Business Bureau. You can trust Birch Gold. They're not a fly-by-night group. They've just been doing this for years. It's blocking and tackling of wealth preservation. Gold this morning is at, I haven't even checked the gold price this morning because I still believe, it's up to $1,774. Oh, I wish you'd bought at $1,400. I wish your savings would now be up 30% if you'd bought at $1,400. But $1,774, it's still rock solid. Oh, it's at the top of the market. I don't know. What's Amazon at? Amazon closed yesterday at $2,754. I was telling you it's the only stock I bought back at $1,500. I think it's a $4,000 stock. And this is why. Here's the story and why inflation is coming and why gold might be your best choice. Nike sales dragged down by store closures. That's the headline in the Wall Street Journal. You think, oh, bad news on the way. Nike sales fell 38% in the last quarter because of the closure of their very cool stores, right? People like Nike stores. But read a little bit on. Chief Executive John Donahue said Nike had reopened most of its stores globally. They may have to reclose some just like Apple has done, and benefited from its digital apps and online sales, which grew 75% in one quarter. Therein lies the story of the American economy. We have not stopped buying. We have continued to consume. We have continued to generate wealth. We have continued to give ourselves those things, whether it's Lululemon workout pants or Nike shoes or a vacation to a remote island where you can canoe. We have continued to drive places. We're not flying as much, but we are consuming. Americans are consumers. Now, you can bemoan that sort of an economy. You can wish that more people tithed and gave to the poor and gave to their religious institutions. You can ask for all those things, but you still have got to look at the facts. And the facts is what we have is the forced march of the American economy online. It was gradually taking place, a slow, long ramp. As people aged out who preferred to shop in stores, enjoyed the experience. Well, they now have learned to enjoy the experience, sometimes collectively, going shopping online with a friend via connected devices. And when I see that Nike sales fell 38%, but their online sales went up 75%, I say to myself, this is going to go on and on and on. I tweeted earlier, Costco, Walmart, Target, Amazon. Boy, if I'm buckling down for the future. I'm not a financial advisor. I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn, and the only stock I ever buy one at a time is Amazon. And that's because Amazon's got AWS, the cloud business. I just think that's unlimited. But those online retailers, maybe Nike's made it into the group too because of their ability to switch online. The big brands, but I like people that sell a lot of things. That's Costco, Walmart. I wish there was a fund that had Target, Walmart, Costco, and Amazon in it. That would be easy to follow. Like I say, I only follow one thing at a time. But the business story of the day, online to stay. The virus will eventually be defeated. Probably by this time next year, the virus will be, vaccine will be widespread. The therapeutics will caught up. I had an interesting conversation yesterday with a veteran of the media industry, one of the very best reporters out there. You know this reporter by sight. Long talk. We are both of the same age, early 60s. We're both in great shape. And we both intend to stay that way. And we socially distance. We went to a restaurant last night, fetching Mrs. Hewitt and I did. Patio restaurant, got there early, in a corner by ourselves, one server interaction, had a wonderful dinner and left. Wore our masks as we walked around people, but we are ourselves feeling great, doing our miles, our workouts. We spent a lot of time staying in shape. And my reporter friend said they do the same thing. They're the couple. The husband and the wife, they do the same thing because they don't want to get the disease, because every day the therapeutics get better. Every day we're closer to a vaccine. So the longer you can postpone getting the virus, the better. But young people realize it's a miserable 2 weeks. Their calculation, it's a miserable 2 weeks at max. Maybe I'll get the asymptomatic kind. So there are three kinds: asymptomatic, bad, stay at home and suffer for 2 weeks, and the stuff that puts you in the hospital. If you go in the hospital, you might die if you've got coronary heart disease and diabetes below that. I don't know what the rules are for asthma. I don't want to chance it. But and the older you are, the less you've got to fight with. You're already got underlying conditions that are terrible. But we know about this. We know everything about this disease. They can reopen Texas, and they can say to the 20, 30, and 40-year-olds, come on out. They can reopen schools. There's a rebellion brewing in Northern Virginia, which I caught wind of yesterday, where they've said we're going to open schools 2 days a week and long-distance learning. And the parents are banging off the roof. They can't do that. Well, you know what that's driven by? Teachers union. Older teachers justifiably don't want to go to work. Well, school districts furlough them. And maybe you give them benefits. I don't know what the teachers' contracts are, but you don't want to bring 65-year-old teachers to work. Do what Hillsdale College is going to do. All the kids are coming back. The young teachers are going to teach in the classroom, and the old teachers are going to teach by remote Zoom. I mean, this is not hard. And you say, well, the old teachers aren't very good in the classroom anyway. Well, that's because you've got a teachers union that is blocking the education of your children. The idea of not doing school, now that we know with great certainty that only the tiniest number of kids get this disease, the Kawasaki syndrome-like disease, it's in the hundreds across the entire United States. We know the kids are safe. It is far more destructive of their life to keep them out of school for a year. And some of them need a classroom. If you've got a mom or dad at home who know what they're doing and can do homeschooling, that's great. But if they haven't got a mom or dad, or if they've got a chaotic home environment, or they're not eating at home and they need their federally funded school food, keeping them out of school is just ruining their life. And school districts have to realize their job is not to take care of teachers' unions. Their job is those kids. And there are going to be some interesting school board elections this fall. Because if your schools are closed, throw them out. Just throw them all out. They got to sit down with the union and say, this is the way it's happening. Go on strike if you want. Let the world see you're protecting your older teachers at the cost of these younger children. That's exactly what's happening in Fairfax County, Virginia, and it will not stand. They will have to bend because that is just criminal. to the children. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Friday edition of the Hugh Hewitt Show.